Anytime, man.
Hello.
Anytime. Hey, Jane.
Hi,
Good
Andrew. How
morning.
are you doing?
Doing great. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I forgot to tell you, it is May 18th. If you forgot, we're on the Victoria Real Estate Show. I'm Jane Johnston with the Bar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, and here is...
Hi, I'm Andrew Plank with LePage and the Vibe Real Estate Group. You forgot to tell everybody what day it is, and so they would have been going through the whole day not knowing. Horrible, Jane.
How's your week going in real estate?
Good. Yeah, been pretty steady. Offers, moving around. Property is unconditional. Waiting on word on one that's due tomorrow to see if it's sold. We're waiting on some results from the buyer's building inspection. They were doing a little deeper dive.
Oh,
Crossed, all of that. Listing going live tomorrow. Actually, sorry, today. Nice little condo I mentioned before, right down on the gorge. And the team thing is going well, although it's a lot of work trying to combine two realtors' businesses together and all the forms and systems and practices and processes and yada yada yada.
It's called storming, norming, and performing. So storming is coming together. The norming is what you're going through, and then you guys will take off.
Jane, that's really well put. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love your enthusiasm and your confidence in us.
Okay, so today we're going to have Jessica Craig. She is with Pacific Mergers and Acquisitions, M&A. And we are going to be talking about how to sell your business eventually, get your business prepped. So we're talking today about business without land, without a brick and mortar, just
Right.
If you're running your business. So how to get your numbers up and get it going so that it shows its best self. But first, let's do today's weekly market update.
Yeah.
Bienvenue. Okay. So for May 18th, boom, go ahead.
Okay. May 15th, so halfway through the month. This month so far, 348 unconditional sales. Compare that to 761 last May. So we're kind of, we're just a little under halfway, and I think we're probably heating up. So we might actually match that number by end of the month. New listings at 614 versus 1,531 in May of 2022. That number probably will not match up. Active listings were definitely up and continuing to move up at 2,108 versus 1,776 last May. But we are finding it's starting to get more vigorous. What do you think?
So I look at the stats and I compare to last week. New listings are double what they were last week, so that's good. When I'm looking at list to sale ratio here, I'm seeing about over 50%, so that's good. So we're in a seller's market. It's definitely faster now. I'm finding days on market are slow or less, and entering more multiple offers again. And this is when the market was kind of going down last year. So this is when the rate increases started to happen. So I'm thinking this is a good thing.
Yeah. So I was at a realtor discussion panel the other day at the real estate board, and some really veteran realtors were up on the panel, plus a lawyer, and it was really designed for newer agents, but I'd say 80% of the population was veteran agents, and they were actually a little daunted by us all. They made a number of comments of that, but it was really interesting to hear what everyone was talking about, which is essentially one of the kind of themes was, this market's an interesting market because it feels like it's exploring, like we don't know what direction it's going in almost. Like you're seeing properties listing and they're going to multiple offers, and yet, they're maybe they'll get something above asking. Maybe they'll have 3 offers under asking. Maybe one of those offers will be conditional on a sale of a home. This isn't the same market we were in last year where it was just everyone was throwing the kitchen sink in their offers.
Yeah.
It's busy. People are making offers. People are wanting to do business, but they're trying to find ways and solutions around it. A lot of people have homes to sell and they're just trying to find a way to make it work. So this is a really funny market right now.
They don't want to overpay.
No.
And they don't want to do, a lot of people are still asking about subject to sale offers, I'm finding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I think we should try and get your house on the market, and then we'll get a long closing date. Then we can negotiate on a place.
We're trying to find, I think that was the difference from last year's market. People were really having a hard time. They knew that they could buy, like they had a hard time buying a home. They didn't want to sell a home knowing they may have a hard time buying a home. And then the market last summer, fall, early winter was more like, oh, you know what, we can probably buy a home and then get a subject to sale offer accepted and get our home sold, and then be able to buy a home and have our home sold properly. And now that's getting a little bit kind of questionable again, but more people are trying to make it happen than were last year.
We're in a counseling business, folks.
Yeah, we really are.
It's all about risk.
Well, counseling and consulting, you know, it's counseling people through those feelings and concerns, but also consulting to give them like, these are the best practices, or these are what we're seeing right out there right now, and this is how we can get you safely to where you want to be.
So one thing, so we recently had the MLS awards, and
that was fun, Jane. Sorry.
Quite a lot of people were saying that they watch us. I think we're veteran realtors, by the way.
Somewhat. I mean, we have realtors who've been at the board for over 50 years. So it's veteran is relative, but yeah, 17 for me and 17 for you. So
yeah. Okay.
And it was good to meet Danielle in person, your assistant.
Oh.
I think she was a little mad that I didn't recognize her. But I've only seen a picture of her, and until I've met somebody in person, it's really hard to be like, oh, this is who you are for me. It was really funny, but she told us we talk too much.
Okay.
Next, so
7 days on the market.
Talk about how we talk too much.
New listings 293, pending 182. This comes out daily, so it's interesting to watch. Price decreases 95. So if you're not getting your house sold, you are decreasing your price. Price increases, usually this is an administrative issue of 4. And then, yes.
I was guilty of that. Listed a home last week or a property last week, and I put the wrong price in. So I had to do a quick adaptation to fix that and contact the board and have it updated. Actually, that being said, it probably shouldn't show as a price increase because I got it corrected by the board. So it should actually not even be showing up this way. So I'm not sure why people wouldn't do that. Okay, never mind. Going down another rabbit hole. I haven't even had coffee this morning.
Solds are 182. That's not very many, especially for half way through the month. I found for me particular, this past week has been very busy. I think we had like 6 closings. So it's yeah. Anyway, okay. Let's talk to Jessica Craig. She is with Pacific Mergers and Acquisitions. She is a business intermediary and mergers and acquisition advisor with Pacific Mergers and Acquisitions, Inc. She works closely with her clients to build value in their business and complete a successful exit. She holds a master's of business administration from the University of Victoria. And I believe I read on her website, she also went to school in France, and she's a licensed commercial real estate agent. We thought it would be interesting for everybody to come and learn about how to sell your business. Because I know for realtors, especially, this is an issue, how to create value so that you can, you have something to sell at the end. She is on the board of directors for the Canadian chapter of International Business Brokers Association and the Victoria chapter for Women in Leadership Foundation. Welcome, my darling.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yay.
No problem.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting conversation.
So I have some questions. First of all, who did your photo? Awesome.
There was a photo day at Miss Mac Cosmetics. So if anybody wants to go there, they do these great photo workshops, and they did my hair and my makeup. Heather did my makeup, and I loved it so much. And then they did a whole photo shoot for me. It was amazing. Definitely recommend.
Wow.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Okay. So, when I started in real estate, and Andrew used to own a company. He owned
Yeah.
What was it called? Camera Traders?
Camera Traders, still around, Market Square. Yeah.
So I remember you going through the process of selling your business, Andrew. I mean, my dad was a lawyer. He sold his business.
Mhm.
My husband runs a bricks and mortar business. And
Right.
I often wonder, like for me, the value of the business is really the database and the trademarks. What do you think, Jessica?
The value can come from a lot of places. There's lots of different methodologies that we look at when we value a business, but the biggest thing that most buyers are concerned about is earnings. They want to see whatever that return on their investment is going to be. So if you have a database, huge database full of people, but nobody's buying anything from you, then that database is mostly worthless.
Right.
So
yeah, garbage in, garbage out. It has to be a good quality database with good quality data, and they have to have, some sort of engagement with your need for you. Otherwise, you just bought a list of names.
Exactly. So you want to see some sort of return on that investment and the money that is coming in from those clients. And then that list does have value. Your trademarks have value, especially registered trademarks.
Right.
Patents,
That's related to goodwill then?
Yeah.
So I find a lot of businesses, when I've worked with clients who are interested in commercial, I don't sell commercial where I'm not licensed. But you are, aren't you, Andrew?
Well, I've helped people with leases and with a purchase of essentially, I think we're both allowed to do this. At least we were at the time. I haven't done commercial in many, many years, mainly because it is definitely outside of my area of expertise. I helped someone buy a franchise at one point, and essentially you're really just trying to, and I was working on the other side with an agent who was also a residential agent, not a commercial agent. And it was really like pulling teeth because I kept trying to say, let's get a general agreement and get it in front of the lawyers. And he was trying to define every little nuance of the agreement, which is not really what we do. And Jessica, you can probably relate to this, but when you're trying to pull people together, you actually want to get a business in front of the lawyers and just get more of an agreement for sale instead of the contracts we use for real estate, residential, which gets all the nuts and bolts all worked out in advance.
Yeah, they are different. An offer for one of our businesses would be quite detailed, and then it would go to the lawyer for the actual draft of the purchase and sale agreement.
Mm-hmm.
But they are different than a real estate offer for sure.
I find a lot of people when they're running their business, they like this happened when my husband was buying his. The guy was kind of running it into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like they get a bit tired and they decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to exit out. And so they stop pushing. And I always find for us, energy in equals the revenue out. Same thing in any other business. So how do we prep our business for sale? How do we get it to the point where we can actually get it up and going and sold well?
Yeah, that happens to a lot of people. They get burnt out and then they stop pushing, and then the value of their business actually goes down. So if you want to get the best value for your business, it's better to sell where you're actually doing well, which is sometimes hard, right? You've built this thing and it's doing really well, so you want to realize the benefit of that. But that is also the best time to sell. And the best way to do that is to prepare. So spending enough time in advance to know when you're ready to make that move. A lot of people call us and, they're ready to sell in 6 months or, even maybe a year. And depending on the state of their business, that may or may not even be possible. We recommend starting several years in advance, getting a valuation of your business done so that you understand where it's at. And then you can use that to really prepare it for sale.
Mm-hmm. You'd almost think that a valuation of the business would also help you to actually make more income because you're looking at it from the perspective of how can I make it more valuable, which usually translates into I should be making it have more potential to make money or make more money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And also step yourself out of it so you're not, many of us small entrepreneurs are the business is us.
Mm-hmm.
So when you step out of it and somebody else steps into it, it can be hard to continue to work with customers who are used to you. And that's one of the problems that realtors have even with their own businesses.
So in that regard, is it good to bring somebody on to be your, like I have a teammate, a mentee who I've brought on to eventually step into my shoes, hopefully.
Big shoes.
Absolutely.
Big shoes.
Absolutely. I think that can be a real benefit, especially depending on the way that you want to exit. There's lots of succession planning around bringing someone in and training them and having them buy your business over a period of time. That's typically not the type of transactions that we see, but it is a very good way to do it, especially for people who are solopreneurs. The reason that you would want to bring somebody in is that it actually can make it more valuable and more efficient. So if you were trying to sell your whole business, as a whole to someone else, and you have a manager that's running it, it will be more appealing on the marketplace because people are looking for an investment opportunity rather than a job.
Yeah.
So what type of businesses do you normally evaluate?
We value all kinds of businesses. We're pretty industry agnostic, especially for valuations. We can do anything and help people understand what's driving the value of their business. But the businesses that we work with the most are usually fairly long-standing businesses in manufacturing, fabrication, construction, anything with lots of people involved. That is kind of our area of expertise, I would say.
Can we take a step back and maybe, Jessica, you can, for those people who don't even really know what it means, can you talk about mergers, acquisitions, what, just in a general sense around the business? I was actually on your site and, divestitures, all of these things that you guys do. Maybe you could give us like a quick view.
For sure. Pacific M&A, the firm that I work for, has been in Vancouver for about 17 years. And we have advisors, myself on Vancouver Island. I have a colleague here, and then we have someone in the Okanagan, and the rest are on the mainland. So we deal with mostly Canadian companies, and we do primarily 100% share sale. So that would be 100% of the company is going to move from the seller to the buyer. We do asset sale as well, but share sales are more typical in Canada because of the capital gains exemption. So that's what we see the most. But we can also help in areas like recapitalization if you just need some sort of cash injection, and we can do valuations for various different purposes as well. So our firm kind of specializes in that valuation stage and then taking it to market. To sell it to the general public.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
So I want to sell my business in 10 years. When should I be in touch with you?
It depends on how much planning you want to do, I would say. You could get it valued now and then work on that over a period of 10 years. But the latest I would say is maybe 5 years before, because that gives you enough time to correct anything that you might want to change or do to increase the value. And it gives you enough time to go to your accountant and make sure that your tax strategy is sound.
Okay, yeah, I often wonder about that. So when you're saying shares, like I remember when my father sold his business, he had an agreement for a payout, an initial lump sum, and then he had a 5-year payout. Is that normal?
Yes, that's very typical, especially in businesses that are very owner operated. So if your father was the main person in the company, then when he leaves, it's quite possible that a lot of the clients will leave. So they put that earn-out structure in there to ensure that they're going to keep the clients. And then if they do, and the transition goes well, then you make the money over the next 5 years. And buyers do that to mitigate their risk that, you're the main person in the business. If you leave and everything falls apart, they don't want to lose their investment.
Right.
Does ego come into play in the sale of business?
All the time.
Yeah, I wondered that.
Yeah, that was a leading question. Leading the witness.
Definitely. Yeah. It's an emotional thing, right? I imagine you see that a lot with homes as well. Mm-hmm. You've lived in the same home for 30 years and then you go to sell it, there's going to be a lot of attachment there. It's exactly the same with your business. And often valuations can be a little bit startling for sellers because they are anticipating the value to be much more than what the market is really willing to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can only put so much value on goodwill.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It makes sense for someone like you to be involved because you're like we are in housing. You're an independent person without rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
You must charge something for this valuation. Can you speak to that at all, or how that would work?
Yeah, absolutely. So our firm has kind of a two fee system. That we have a fee for the valuation, and that can range anywhere between 5,000-10,000 more if the business is very complicated,
Mhm.
and that has to do with the structure as well. So if there's lots of holding companies, if there's property involved, all of these different things, multiple different owners, those can make the valuation more complicated, and so we charge more for that. And then upon the successful sale, we have a success fee as well. And different firms have different pricing structures. So if you talk to multiple people, you'll probably get different
Mhm.
ideas about it.
In our industry, we do a market evaluation. We often or generally don't charge for that. We talk to our sellers about it. We say, this is what we think your home is worth. And quite often they'll say, no, I think it's worth more.
Yeah.
How do you find that often?
Often, yes.
Yeah. And how do you deal with that?
It depends on the client really, and what they're looking to do. Some clients are receptive when you explain what's going on in the market and what you found in their financials and the reasons behind the valuation that you've produced.
Yeah.
And some clients are really not receptive, and they're just going to walk away, and it's their business. That's their prerogative, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Have you sold and helped anybody sell real estate businesses?
Like real estate corporations? No, not yet anyway.
Yeah.
It's usually
I'm
done.
thinking we're terrible at it.
Yeah, we are. And we're business people who are not great business. We're not great business people when it comes to
Our business.
moving our business on or evaluating it. We really are our individuals. There are some big teams who do build up teams. They will generally just shift out, like you were talking about, bringing somebody else in and have an agreement. But it's a harder thing to sell because it's not. There's no retail location. It's really just systems and goodwill.
And database.
Yeah, and you can put some value to that, but I think a lot of the time you'll see what you were talking about with more of a succession plan. And we might be able to do a valuation and advise on that succession plan, but we typically aren't involved in that sale. So that's probably why we haven't done anything like that yet. But we do a lot in different types. Like I've done strata, property management, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So we've mentioned ego being an issue. We've mentioned probably the lack of organization being an issue, like a bad database without like all the components. What are other issues that come up during the sale of business?
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't spent the time to prepare it, the biggest things that we see are documentation. You need to have your financials need to be done by an accountant, and you need to understand them, which can be a challenge. If your accountant has done something that you don't understand, that will probably cause a problem when the buyer's trying to understand what they've done, because we can't articulate it. I
would imagine there's also technology or things moving forward. You might have a business. I was just looking at I have someone who bought a business from me years ago. One of the first company sales I did, and it was a small little business that had been a family business for years, but it was a print kind of business, and attempted to go a bit online. Didn't really work out so well. Still doing print. Was looking to sell the business recently, and I was looking at it myself as potential purchase. But the fact is I had to think about the fact that technology and that business. Number one, technology, is it still relevant? And number two, could this be easily replicated by somebody else? And what's the competition that could step into this field?
Absolutely. Those are big factors that also go into the valuation. Yeah. If your business is in kind of, a dying industry, it's going to bring the value down, right? And it's going to make it much harder to find a buyer. You might sit on the market for a year, 2 years. Mm-hmm. Eventually somebody might come along, but it's much harder to sell. Absolutely. So if you have a business like that and you are trying to pivot it and keep yourself consistent with whatever new technology is coming up, that can definitely help you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think about like from my perspective from the old camera shop days, we had, I was dealing in film cameras. We went to digital, or digital came in. And so, companies like Kodak, which didn't really do a proper shift, went out of business. Whereas other companies that really embraced new technology, jumped into those spaces.
Yeah.
So there's always that recognition of that there's a space out there.
Okay, you know what? I think that's all we have time for today. I've put up your contact information in the chat, but I'm just wondering, Jessica, how do people reach you?
The best way to reach me is by email. You can find my email here on the screen, or you can find me on LinkedIn. Those are probably the best ways, or give me a call. I'm usually here at my office, so it's my phone number right there. Give me a call anytime.
Okay, we're just going to read it out because some people do listen to this. So her number is 778-897-0492. She's at Pacific Mergers and Acquisitions, and her website is pmabb.com/Jessica-Craig-2, or you can reach her at jcraig@pacificmergers.com.
I have a question. Is there a second Jessica Craig? Or
That's
how?
what I was wondering too.
No, we just changed our website over. So I had an old page and now I have a new page.
Okay. All right.
Page
All
number 2.
right. Thank you so much for
Thanks so
coming.
much
We
for
really
coming.
appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for having me. This was lovely.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jessica.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Good to meet you. Bye.
Bye.
All right,
That was
Andrew.
fun.
Let's move to the last part of the show. We have 4 minutes left.
Yes.
So,
and wants.
needs and wants.
Okay. I need a few things. I need a Waterview condo, under condo or townhouse. Let's say under 900,000. Let's say plus or minus to that. But be nice to be right on the water. That price point, somewhere walkable downtownish, or Vic West, or Esquimalt, but somewhere like in the core. I'm looking for walkable, like near a village home in Oak Bay, or something near a village under 2 million. I'm looking for fixer-uppers all over the place. Essentially something people can buy and put some value into, maybe hold for a couple of years, but that kind of thing. Land assemblies, flips. I'm looking for a rancher, townhouse rancher.
Oh, townhouse rancher.
A townhouse rancher, yes.
What's the price range on that?
I'd say up to about 850.
Okay.
Yeah. And somewhere, let's say, Royal Oak, View Royal, Gordon Head, sort of core areas. And then lastly, I'd say there's one not quite ready to buy yet, but we're looking for something a little unique, kind of maybe 50s home, Gary Oak on a rock somewhere, like just a different kind of property. Talked about this before. Something that's kind of non-standard, a little quirky. That's what these folks like. So looking for all of that.
I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to.
Please don't.
Okay. I have people looking for 2-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos. We looked at one on Roland and we wrote a backup offer. We got bumped from that by somebody else also writing. Let's see. I have somebody looking for a rural property, like 1 to 2 acres. They want a private backyard, essentially. They're living in Bear Mountain right now, and they want to spread out. I have somebody looking for a townhome. They're looking in Sydney, and 2+ bedrooms, up to around 950. And let's see. In terms of what's coming up in the market, I have a couple of listings. So I have one coming up in Sandwich West. That's 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, and it's 2,850 square feet. It's located on a large lot, over 8,000 square feet. It backs onto a park. It's awesome. And that's going to be about 125. And then I have a 11.5 acre property that's coming up tomorrow. That's got 2 homes on it, and that's going to be at 2,350,000. And then,
Sounds nice.
Yeah. And then I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo coming up on Michigan. That's going to be 885. And I just recently listed this week a leasehold, my first leasehold townhouse. So I was learning a lot. So that's always interesting. So that's 2 bedrooms. It's Unit 59, 1506 Admirals Road, and it's
I know the ones.
249,000.
Yeah.
21 years left in the lease, so it's really hard to get financing. You have to have a lot of money down, but it's 1,000 square feet, and it's quite a nice little complex. And then we just relisted Yates Street, 845 Yates Street, Unit 405, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and that's 572 square feet, priced at $524,900.
Okay. Your Michigan one does not have any water views?
No.
No. Okay. Nice. That's in the Duet?
The Duet.
Yeah, great building. Is that the steel and concrete side or the frame side?
The steel and concrete side.
You're 5th floor or something, aren't you? Great. And the Vic West or the West Sandwich one, if you could send that to me, I'd be interested in knowing more details.
Northridge?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I will. And then you know what? I have an amazing house in Mill Bay on Glenduick, and it's $1,195,000. It is absolutely stunning. 2,400 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and it's on a large lot, over 8,000, almost 9,000 square feet. So, you know, that is a beautiful, beautiful home. They just want to move closer to Victoria because of family. So
that's not Mill Springs, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice little area, and a lot of folks who are not like that kind of home in Victoria would be what, 1.5, 1.6?
Yeah.
Like your money goes a lot further over there, and it's a beautiful area. So when you're considering all the factors, it's not a bad little retirement area or commuter space. Good job. A lot of nice listings.
Yeah. All right. And do you have anything else coming up?
I've got the one going live today, and a few coming up. The pipeline's full. I won't speak to them until the listings are signed. But we've got one bedroom condo coming up right down on the gorge. It does not have water views because it's on the back of the building, but it's right at the gorge, or like the building overlooks the Selkirk Trestle. So it's on Washington Avenue on the south side. Yes. 640 square feet, nice little clean unit coming today at 380,000, and it's a good deal. We need this. We want it to sell fast. We're priced to sell, awesome. Ready to go, turnkey. On it goes. So yeah,
like literally walk around the building and you're at the ocean.
Exactly. There's a park. Arbutus Park is right across the street. Walk up the street to the Trestle. You've got the Glow restaurant and all the Jutland stuff there nearby. Take your bike into town, easily commuting to town. So fun, so nice, and so affordable.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. So if you enjoyed our show, don't forget we're on every Thursday morning at 9:30. Please like us on YouTube. You can subscribe to us as well and comment. And if you know somebody who might be interested in buying or selling real estate, please share our posts. We would love to hear from you. And anything else you want to say, Andrew Plunk?
No, I'm done.
Okay. How do people reach you, buddy?
Okay. Reach me at 250-360-6106. Email info@andrewplank.com. Instagram is plankandrew. You can also, I'm going to add these to the list. Check out buyingvictoria.com or victoriahousingmarket.com. Those also link to additional information for buying or selling real estate.
Awesome. We'll edit that.
Thank you.
Okay, if you want to reach me, my name's Jane Johnston. You can reach me at 250-744-0775. My email is briarhillgroup@gmail.com. And you can go to briarhillgroup.com, or you can check out these videos and more at victoriarealestateshow.com. And I'm on Instagram at realtyteacher_remax_Victoria. All righty. Have a great week, my friend. Love you.
You too. You got it.
I'm going to post a picture on my Instagram of Andrew and I this
We've
week.
got to have we need to screenshot this. We don't have hands free to do it though. We need
Okay, someone. Okay. See you later.
See you later.